What's going on, Savage community and everyone else? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're at, I guess. It's late afternoon here, not evening yet, and productive day. Ended up with an unexpected uh, non-work day. I was very grateful for that. It was unexpected. And when I have those days, unexpected or regular days off from my full-time full-time employer, I do everything I can, unless it's the weather. We've had a lot of bad weather lately. I I take full advantage of it. I plan I've said many times, and people that know me know this. I plan every week on Sunday, uh, at some point on Sunday, even if it's just in my head, even if I don't write it down. I plan my week around my work week, around my training, and my responsibilities and my commitments to myself first. Yes, see a lot of people that I know have a hard time. Let me rephrase this. If we break commitments and promises and obligations to other people, we should at least talk to them about it. Uh, I'm not saying don't keep your word. I'm big about this. I preach this all the time. I do everything in my ability to keep my word. If I cannot, I communicate that. I'm sure I've still fell short on that throughout my life, but I think for the last almost decade that I'm so committed to my journey and my purpose and my mission and my what my character is about that I believe that it's not been that many times I have done that and not communicated it. But what some people don't understand is a lot of, and I've done this in the past. We'll work ourselves into the ground, stress ourselves out, um, not keep our mental and physical health in check, run ourselves down physically and mentally. Because if you do one, the other one's coming. If you run yourself down mentally, usually your physical health's not in check and not taken care of. Trying to please other people, um, but we don't often keep our commitments to ourselves. Our commitments to ourselves come first. That seems crazy because there's a mindset out there, especially with our generation and older, um, that if you love your family, that it's okay to run yourself in the ground and totally destroy your mind, soul, and body. I used to think the same thing, not understanding it. Love your family enough, your children, your grandkids, your family in general enough to uh, sacrifice your life for them. Okay, I think the same way to a certain extent, as far as protection, no doubt. As far as working, but no, I won't work myself in the ground anymore. I won't do it. I feel like that's not. I know that that's not living. Love yourself and your family enough to take care of yourself. And a lot of times, this ain't the podcast. This is not the podcast for that. Sometimes that comes with if you don't want to work yourself to death. And this is whatever you do. It doesn't mean that you have a hard manual labor job for a living. It means that we take on this is a subject people just don't talk about enough. We take on too much debt, too many responsibilities because we want too much stuff because we have the mindset that that's the idea of the American dream, that we need more, better, bigger, uh, flexing, balling, and there's a lot of things I can even look back on my life and what I tell people, I said, there's a lot of ways we can manage our stress if we're willing to backscale our lives, if we're willing to downsize. For me, my life's already downsized. A lot of decisions were made for me, and I decided to live like that, just stay living like that. I've talked about it in past podcasts, and I'll talk about it in the future again. Productive day, nonetheless. Though, got some good training in. I still got a few things to do today. Then it started raining, and uh, halted my plans of what I needed to do outside. I got a few hours left in the day with sunlight. And if it dries up enough, I'll go out there and do some more. Didn't take that long of gap. I'm slowly getting back on track, and I'm not going to get into detail about this today. Again, I think I've talked about it in almost the whole last season. This season about anybody that knows this, that listens, even on a periodic if you just listen periodically, I've been off Spotify for almost a year. It'd be a year in July. I've been on only YouTube since then. They changed their criteria, and I did what I needed to do the first time, and the second time they changed the criteria again, I wasn't willing to do it. Nothing against them; they were the first ones that put me on, and I know some my views and my downloads and my support has gone down since then. Not because less people are watching, but because Spotify, the way that Spotify and Apple Play, the way they have that format set up is it's more beneficial to the podcaster. It really is, and my goal is to be back on there. By July. That'll be a year off of there. So I noticed when I went just to YouTube, I was missing. I wasn't doing as many podcasts because of the way I had it, the way it was set up on Spotify. Is it sent me a reminder uh, that I had an obligation to do one every 10 days, every one a week or one every. I believe it was every 10 days, and I didn't get behind very often. Sometimes I did. I'm not trying to look. I have no false expectations of myself. I know how many subscribers I have. I know who views it, who doesn't. I know how many, again, subscribers and supporters are not always the same thing. I know who says they don't watch and they do. Um, I'm hoping that anyone that listens even occasionally, or you believe in my message and what I stand for, if you've just listened to me on here or you know me in real life or both, that when I get back, or even now, just go to YouTube and just hit the subscribe button. Even if you don't want to watch, it doesn't take anything, doesn't cost anything. But when I go back to Spotify and Apple Play, at that point, I'm going to be, I hope it transitions all platforms, and that y'all will, that most of you will subscribe on those platforms, because that's how, if we make people like me make anything at all, that's not why I do it. And again, a lot of people, for people like myself, they thought I would go away by now, didn't you? You thought I would stop. You must not know me very well, or you knew me 25, 30 years ago. Uh, say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to stop. I may get behind. It may not be where I want it to be, obviously. But again, I'm not going to give no. I said it in the past, and I ate my words. You hear that? I ate. It's what we call eating fucking crow. I ate it. And I can't hold nobody responsible except for me that you haven't seen a list of guests yet. Now, when I start having people on, whether it's, again, let me say it again, whether it's going to them or them coming here, or it's a video for like Skype or something, that they live in another part of the state or another country, it's going to be different, because that doesn't mean I'm going to have someone on every time, because at that point I'm going to try to get my podcast back up to my original goal of 6 to 5. It was to 5 to 8 a month, but anyway, I mean, this is still halfway through season 6, and I had planned to do more by now, but to me, these are still important subject matters. So let me get to it today. Yeah, I finished training. Did my duties around the house, inside. I got some more stuff to do. Training first, and I did more today because I ended up with an unexpected day off. Grateful for that. So, no, I'm always wearing something, what I represent, what I support, what I earn, uh, whether it be in the ultra community, Spartan, whatever it is, someone else's brand, someone else I believe in. In the past, it was my brand. I'm not going to get into that today, but I haven't, anybody knew that my merchandise that was in alignment with my podcast and my lifestyle and what I represent, what I live, which was Savage Mind Design, Savage Lifestyle. I haven't really had nothing. I think it's been about 3.5 years since I've really produced anything. This is a long story on that. I should have got it back up and running. At the time I put it on hold, that was on purpose, and I just plan on having it up and running again by now. I'm slowly working on it. I never plan for it to go away permanently, but it's going to come from a different perspective. It's going to be more condensed, and I feel like just as valuable, if not more valuable. It's gonna be from a different premise, and the target audience will be different. And I will eventually get to a lot of things I had before, but it will be different. You'll have to, if you're interested, you'll have to stick around and see, or reach out to me. And I'm grateful, and I'm grateful if you do. And for anyone that doesn't support, not interested in the future, and you supported me in the past, hell, I appreciate it. Thank you. I said, because it still made a big difference, and it wasn't about anything about making money. It was about getting your name out there, and people recognizing who it is and whose brand that is. And um, I plan on very much. I'm working on a few things right now, and I very much plan on having that back up. But it's gonna be different, and I feel like it's gonna be. I'm not gonna say I'm still not gonna have a broad spectrum of merchandise later, but it's gonna be a more functional and organized way. I guess it's a good way to put it. So nothing crazy today. Got my regular palm tree shirt on. I have about 5 of these shirts. I love these shirts because that's what I'm about. It's one of the things I'm about is, even though I don't live there yet and I'm not there enough, palm trees, tropical beach, palm trees, everything. Uh, it's a mindset of how I view my daily life. Even if I'm not living it, even if I'm not there, even if I haven't made it to where I want to be yet, it's we trick ourselves into certain things in this life, and there's a lot of things I do that I trick myself into believing, and because I work towards it, and just manifestation. I see it. I make sure I see. Listen to this. I've talked about this in the past. I make sure everything that I do on a daily basis has something to do with my purpose and my mission, my goals and my plan. Not one thing to do with the material thing. Palm trees. See, all the stuff that I have right here, even though I'm not even close to being finished, is all in alignment with the life that I'm manifesting. When we talk about manifesting, let me say this. This is just like praying without action. There's no praying without doing. You got to do something about it. When I say manifestation and praying, I'm also working towards it and taking action and doing something fucking about it every day I can. But I do got this. As I've mentioned here the last few months, I'm an ambassador for Alter Ego Running. I'm not saying that means anything. I'm saying they picked me to be an ambassador this year. And I think I applied 2 or 3 years in a row before that. They may not pick me next year. Love the brand. I was buying their hats before that. That's what got me to apply to be an ambassador. They have sent me some amazing gear. Right now, second to none, best hats I've ever had in my life. I love these hats. This is about my 6th one. I think I bought 2 or 3 before they accepted asked me to be an ambassador. Alter Ego Running out of Florida. And they had I think a podcast, either the last one or the one before that was on my last 50-mile ultra. This was a great ambassador run. You didn't some people didn't do it. I feel like for what they send me and for them keeping their obligation, once I signed up, it was my commitment to do so. And you could pick your distance. Some people picked 1 mile. Some people picked a 5K, a 10K. It went from, I think, 1 mile up to a 50K ultra. 50K ultra was the cutoff. A 50K ultra, not a 50 mile, comes out to about 32, 33 miles. That's usually what I do. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to talk about that in the next podcast, probably, here in the next couple of podcasts. But you paid your money. It was a virtual, and you have to do it with your smartwatch and your app. All these years, even though I've did other stuff like that on apps, I never had a smartwatch until a couple of months ago. All the years of running and stuff, I just kept telling myself I didn't need one. But with what I'm trying to accomplish now, there's no way I could make it without it. Now that I have one, I still kept it reasonable what I spent on it. I couldn't imagine my life without it. I couldn't have done this. And we had a 3-day window. To choose what day we're doing that. And it had a 3-day window. You had to pick your distance, and each person that's an ambassador, you're in a group. Like they have Golden Dunes, Green Waves, something like that. I'm in Golden Dunes. They pick it for you. And for me being an ultra endurance athlete, I feel like I'd be shortchanging myself if I didn't do at least an ultra. I picked as high as they could go. The run didn't go right, but I got it done. And it wasn't what I wanted, wasn't the outcome, but I got it done. And these hats. So I got this hat, see the Alter Ego Great Ambassador run. I love it, man. This is the best hats. I love them. There are other stuff. I think they're still working on it. I got a shirt. It's okay. I feel like it's a little bit heavy, but it's worth it for the quality of these hats, man. I got one in there that I've had for about 4 years. I've done I've done over 10 ultras in them. I've done probably 20 Spartan races, which are really filthy and dirty, plus all of my day-to-day training, which sometimes is just as much an ass whooping as just doing the actual challenge itself. And it's got a few little nicks right here where the holes are. I wore that hat this morning to run. It beads water. I got socks, sunglasses, and I got my medal. We'll talk about that later. I should have just did that today and showed y'all, but not that you care. I just try to share my experience and my journey in my life. So I wanted to ask people this about what we accept in our life, about what we notice and ignore, and whether that's from loved ones, whether it's from an employer, whether we're the ones doing it, if we're the ones allowing it. And I really want to dive deeper into this in another podcast. I just feel like I needed to get on here and catch up a little bit and let anyone that's tunes in consistently, occasionally, then I'm getting back on track, and it is going to get there. I just said it, I think, a couple of podcasts ago that, hey, I don't know, will it feel like more of an accomplishment that it took so long to get to the point where I started interviewing people? Because that was always my goal from the beginning. And I can't say it's laziness. I don't have a lazy bone in my body. It's sometimes I'm just burned out on other things. We get burned out in life. We get burned out in work, the grind, the daily monotonous tasks that take us away from our other goals, and becomes frustrating. And so we end up doing what's comfortable and complacent and easy. I would say it's not hard for me to do this, not hard for me to talk to anybody. But it got to where it's comfortable and complacent. And I'm so interested in what other people have to say, not necessarily my agenda. You know, when I have guests on, I really want it to be whatever we want to talk about. You know, I mean, the idea is I'm going to be sharing things, and I want them to share whatever it is, whatever the topic is. We whether it's training, whether it's ultra running, whether it's martial arts, whether it's a skilled trade, whether they might be a paint and body person, they might be a carpenter, they might be a contractor, they might be a fisherman, they might be a hunter, they might be a cosmetologist, they might do hair and nails, whatever it is. There's so many people in this world that we know that just need a voice. They just need a platform. And we got my opinion is, regardless of what anybody thinks of this is a truth. We make so many fucking stupid people famous. It's fucking us. We're the one that gives them power. We're the ones that fucking feed into it. We're the ones that gives, if you understand this, we give the shit legs for it to take off. Then we don't understand why the people that are fucking famous are fucking ignorant. Not all of them. I'm saying, think about how many people on TikTok, YouTube, all this stuff that we made famous. We're sitting over here making them famous while we're sitting over here shaking our head and struggling day to day when some of these people have no fucking talent. Now, there's a lot of people on there that do have talent. Young people, a lot of shit on social media is not fucking real. Do not compare your life. Don't, if you, I say young people, but there's a lot of people in our age group that I know that fucking are in competition and competing and one-upping all the time. Comparing your life to people's fucking highlight reel that they may or may not be living. We live in a world where we often discourage No, that's what we do. We discourage people who tell the truth, people who have discipline, people who have savagery, people who live what they say, accountability, action, uh, not being weak, being strong minded, being an independent thinker, having something good to talk about, subjects and things that matter. And this is what people say, well, it matters to you. Well, there's a true. I speak about things that matter to me. There's a lot of people out there that feel that way, that it matters to them, but you're too busy chasing dopamine. You're too busy chasing comfort. You're too busy worried about entertainment and recreation. And that's why you are who you are. And that's why we sit there and get on here and scroll on social media and we feed these fucking people. And we make, like, there's a girl on TikTok or something right now. I don't even know her fucking name. She came to town or something around here and everybody started blowing up. I think this girl might be known for like getting involved. Nothing against anybody that's been in prison. I know a lot of people that's been, and they have most of them have totally changed their life. Some of them have not. Nothing against anybody that's had any kind of problems like that that's changed their life. If you've changed your life, she's known for marrying prisoners. There's another one on there that's gets on there and brags about having kids and living off the government and welfare and child support and all this, and said she'll never get a job. You got to see the fucking views. And the thing is, somebody else was showing it to me, and I was fucking getting disgusted watching it. This is the kind of shit we feed and endorse. And then we get mad at people who are not that. Well, look at the world that we are creating. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to go there with every fucking thing. By myself or with someone. This is the kind of shit we're teaching. This is the kind of shit we're giving views to, giving power to. And then I thought about it. Hell, I'm watching it. So I'm fucking got off there. You know what, man? I'm not saying it's not. Again, I've said this over and over. Social media is a tool. It's a tool, just like money. Money's a tool. That's it. That's the only way I view it. I got TikTok. I've had it for a little over a year, and I haven't been on in about 4 or 5 months. And I just started. I think it's hurt me with my podcast because this is very important to me, regardless of where it's at and where I want it and where I think it should be, which is my fault, and where it's not, and where it's actually at. But I think I've been on social media less, like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. I can't keep up. Anybody that knows me knows I have multiple pages on Facebook for my brand, for my podcast and all that. Man, sometimes it wasn't my intent to get that far behind. I'm still producing, and I'm still putting content out. I'm still doing it, but I can't be on there all the time, man. I find less and less time to be on there. And it's kind of like taking pictures with family and loved ones, or whether it's my ultra running, whether it's something we do with me and the wife, or me and the grandkids, or anything that we do. Sometimes we take quite a few pictures, and then we don't even. Sometimes we post it a month later. If you know me, I'll post 3 weeks, a month later. Sometimes I just don't post at all. I find let me be clear about this. The love that we have, as far as the relationship, as far as the marriage, and as a family, is stronger than it's ever been. I just find myself, I see people that post in real time every time, or on a regular basis. How can you enjoy the moment and be present doing that all the time? We just want the attention. We want the likes. We want the attention. We want the likes, the loves, even if it's fake, even if it's insincere. Even if you look on there and you know those people don't mean it. Maybe you're that person who does that. I don't do that shit. I know who watches my pages. I know who sees it and just cannot hit the like button. They cannot hit the love button. Whatever. Here's the thing. It doesn't bother me. I just like to let them know I know who they are, especially when they're on my life and in my life on a regular basis. But I want to talk about next podcast. If you want to talk about intuition. Being able to read people, read the room, picking up on vibes. Some people say it's a blessing and a curse when it's somebody like myself, because I want to say this. This is one of the things I am 100% completely to the core confident about of my ability to be able to do these things. I don't think it's a curse anymore. I don't. I think it was people saying that, and now that I've gotten older, they're around me with the experience I have in life and the things I've been through, and the amount of solitude I spend in. I spend a incredible amount of time alone, studying, training, running, driving. I connect everything. I already had it down, and now it's next level. Yes, there's a lot of things I again, I'm not delusional about skills I do not have. But this one, I'm very confident in the fact. Just I so I encourage people to ask themselves: do you ignore it when you do see the signs? Do you pick up on it? Is it because of your relationship or how long you have known them? When I say relationship, that could be family, that could be classmates, that could be coworkers. Do you ignore it because you don't want it to be them, or do you do it, or is it both all parties involved? Sometimes I wonder, I feel like a lot of people I know don't pick up on it and have it dialed in to the extent that I do. No, I don't. I know that they're out there because there's people I do know like this. It's like being psychic. Do I think it's real? Yeah, I do. I don't think it's as common as they say it is. Uh, Sometimes I'm so on point, most of the time, it rattles people. It pisses them off. It does. Uh, because it's things that they would think is seemingly not even related. I have these talks with my own family all the time. They don't blow up my ego. I don't blow up nobody's ego. I don't need mine blowed up. I don't need that kind of validation. But the way I explain it to them and connect things, a lot of people will say this is overanalyzing. That's it. This is how I decipher that now. They're telling me that to try to distract me away from what they already know I know. Vibes, body language, eye contact, energy, interaction on social media, how it was and then how it is now, how it's changed, support, lack of, action, lack of, comments, innuendos, backhanded comments, backhanded disrespects disguised as a compliment. We overlook it when it's people we know and we think we trust. And oftentimes we relate those things according to years. Well, I've known them, or sometimes we get this. I've did this a lot. We get confused with being friends with somebody 10, 20, 30 years as if knowing them 10, 20, 30, or 40 years. Sometimes people we meet later in life, that could be 6 months, we could have more in common with and connect with and trust more than somebody we've known that long. People change. Life changes people. And just because we grew up together, just because we work together, just because we're related, don't mean that they can be trusted. Doesn't mean either party can be trusted sometimes. When you hear people say that, when they're really fixated on the years and the amount of time, that's the same thing that's similar to people's relationship. It doesn't matter how unhappy they are. It doesn't matter how toxic it is, how jealous they are, how much they don't trust each other, what shit they've been through. They'll go back to, we've been together this long. We've been together 10 years. We've been together since we were 17, 25 years, whatever the fuck. Who gives a fuck? If it's not valuable, no one gives a fuck. The only people that give a fuck is the same people like you. There's so many ways that people tell us things. And either sometimes people don't have the common sense to see it, they don't understand it. And when they don't have the common sense, I think it's because they don't have enough life experience. Whether it's family members, whether it's somebody you work with. I know I'm going back to this again. We're often encouraged and constructed in a way too that somebody with authority, title, position, older, elders, can get away with those things because of the position they're in. You know what I'm saying? Or your parents can get away with it, or us as parents can get away with it. To me, I don't have to be around anybody more than about 5 minutes. There are people out there who are really good at it. Sometimes I'll say, I need a little bit more time with them. I need to be around them again. But before I go and get into the next podcast on this later, if you're listening to this and you know we know each other, some of you have even did this with me, and I value this, and I don't take this for granted, that will bring people around me that I don't know, and they don't even know I'm doing this, just so I can read them and analyze them. And then I will give them the feedback. And I'll always give them the feedback that they want to hear. Most of the time it's not. I care about them, and I value them, and I love them on at whatever level that relationship is. I'm definitely going to tell them the truth. And sometimes the truth is they're the person in the wrong. But people lets me know that people are listening and paying attention more than I think they are. They'll bring people around me just so I can read them, just so I can evaluate them. And then I'll give them the feedback. And sometimes I'll tell them, if you think I'm wrong, bring them around me again. I ain't a dick. I ain't doing any of that. I'm giving them the analyzation, most likely, that they already know. One of our girlfriends, I haven't seen her in a while, but we love her dearly. She used to say, if I really want you to read somebody and skin them down, and I need it confirmed what I already thought, I'll bring them around you. She goes, but if I don't want to hear it, I won't bring them around you. And what I told her was, if you don't want to hear it and you already know it, it's just like not wanting to hear the truth. We live in a society that discourages the truth. It discourages it, and it discourages accountability and encourages being fake and insincere and not genuine at all and being fake on every fucking level. I mean, think about it. People get mad about the truth and encourage being fake because there's always something in it. Everything's almost transactional. And I told her, I said, you don't want to hear what you already know, so you keep them away because you want to go on down that road and try it for yourself. She goes, yeah. At least she had a fucking enough nuts to admit it. So, we're going to talk more about this. We live in weird times. But we have more tools than we've ever had as well. Social media has exposed a lot. Social media exposes how fucking real you are or how fake you are. Picking up on vibes, body language, eye contact, dishonesty, malicious intent, backstabbing. And it's usually never strangers. It's always people we know, we grew up with, we're related to, we work with, that we call family and friends. Y'all stay humble and live savage. Let's talk more about this later.